Yes, hello everyone, hope it's doing alright, because I'm not. I'm actually gutted about that. Obviously I've got a different location. I'm at the top of the car park, so you can see the very beautiful St James's Park behind us, but unfortunately it's Arsenal that go away with all 3 points. So we'll dissect the game, we'll look at the lineup in a moment, we'll also hear from Eddie Howe, and of course we'll touch about rotation and of course the Champions League, because that has to be the next priority as we move on. So let's get going everyone. So let's talk about the team news first of all. So obviously there's a game every 3 days, and it was intriguing to see what Eddie Howe was going to go with. So he went with 4 at the back. Now we were trying to work out where's Dan Burn playing. Is it wing back? Because we thought that Jacob Murphy would be right wing back. And a lot of people thought that Tino Livramento would be left wing back. But no, Murphy was right wing. Tino Livramento was right back, and then he had the 2 centre backs of Chow, Botman, and Dan Burn playing left back, which was a little bit surprising. Nick Pope and goal, of course, usual midfield 3, the 2 Brazilians, the Italian maestro, and it was, as I mentioned, Murphy on the right, Gordon on the left, and Woltemade up top. Now, obviously we have a fantastic record against Arsenal here. That's now been squashed, having won the last 3 on the spin, if I'm not mistaken. But, look, I'm going to say it straight off, Arsenal deserved the win. You can't deny that. Arsenal were the better team. They simply were. So let's get into the game then. So you're wondering, right, are Newcastle going to go high pressing? We did for the first 5-10 minutes. The pressing was decent. It wasn't the best I've seen. However, Arsenal were testing Nick Pope numerous times early on in that first half, and several of times. And Nick Pope was the best player in that first half, without a shadow of a doubt. The amount of times he was saved in action. Palmer at low, I think he put one on the post. There was a shot, I think, from Saka. He was too busy. He was far too busy for me. And it come to the point where when are Newcastle going to get into gear? When they're going to get him a bit of momentum? And I think, obviously, the VAR where Gyökeres goes down, and I knew straight away, because it's right in front of us, where I sit. It was never a penalty because Pope gets a touch. I don't need a replay. And again, the beauty about doing these videos raw is that I don't see any replays. So, not a penalty. It took a long time for Jared Gillett, the Australian referee, to go over a VAR. It took a long time to look at it. Not given. It's the right call. I don't need to see it back. And of course, same old Arsenal always cheating chant comes on and what have you. But look, we always knew that this game was going to be a feisty game. It always is between, especially St James's Park. Look, and if Arteta got beat today, I wonder what excuse would have came out, because obviously it must be the ball and what have you has been sung. But it didn't. At the end of the day, they got 3 points. We'll come on that in a second. But that spurred the crowd. Newcastle got off with Woltemade scoring again. Some people say he can't header a ball. Well, he's got 2 headers already since he signed towards the end of August. So he's had a good start his Newcastle career. And yeah, give him service, and it looks like he'll score. And you know, a lot of people think that he's great with his feet. And to be honest with you, I don't think we haven't even seen the best of Woltemade yet. I really didn't, because we haven't seen enough of him on the ball. And today, Arsenal had so much of the ball, possession-wise, and he put his goal away, a fantastic header, put it away really well. But we haven't seen enough of him with him on the ball, going past players, because he hasn't had the opportunity today. And obviously, he's only just signed. And I think Johan Visser will be a totally different striker when he comes in after the next international break, because he will play and sniff around the box, whereas Woltemade is a little bit different. But he got his goal, fantastic. And the Woltemade song, 2 songs he's obviously got, was being sung around the Gallagher and the Strawberry Corner and the Gallagher Corner and what have you. So Newcastle won it up, good start. And I think when we got into half time, it's a case of, right, I think we need to come out a little bit, because yes, Arsenal were having a lot more of the ball. And the second half, it was all Arsenal. I don't know what was said at half time in the Arsenal dressing room or Newcastle's, but we parked the bus pretty much, or majority of that second half. I think after the hour mark, 60-65 minutes, there was a lot of substitutions by Newcastle. We brought Alanga on and Asula on for the count, and I get that, I do get that. But going 5 at the back obviously didn't help either a little bit later with Tino's injury. And hopefully that's not serious, because just touch upon that first of all. He has been a breath of fresh air, left and right. He's so versatile. It's hard to, if you're just watching Newcastle as a one-off, it's hard to thinking, bloody hell, where does that lad play? You would think he's a natural left back. But that's how good he is. And hopefully that's not serious, because the last thing we need is an injury, especially with so many games so early on in the season that we're playing every three days. So I'll come back to the rotation towards the end because I don't want to go off topic. So we went literally 5 at the back and it was park the bus, and I think it was too early. 65 minutes, we literally went 5 at the back and said, how with an Arsenal, what have you got? And of course, substitute Mikel Merino, who had a season here at Newcastle, started off his first part of the season under Rafa Benitez really well, then fell out of favour. But he's went on to do bigger and better things with Spain and La Liga and so on. He's now back in the Premier League with Arsenal. But it had to be him in off the post. I don't think Nick Pope could do much about that one. And it was even still, Nick Pope was forced into a couple of saves. Nick Pope at that point was handling the crosses really well. And up until the very death, Nick Pope for me was my best player. As Newcastle went with Barnes to try and stretch, and Arsenal get the winner, it's sickening because it's obviously in stoppage time and Newcastle barely got any time left, and they've got 5 at the back. And just before that, Nick Pope tries to feed Elanga, and look, he's trying to get Newcastle on the counter-attack to go for the 3 points. It's an absolute dreadful kick. It's a shocking kick. It's low bubbles, and then Arsenal come up the other end and get a corner. The corner comes in, and again, I have not seen it back, so I'm going on first glance of it. Corner comes in. For me, he has to do better. I'm at the other end of the ground, I'm only getting one look at it. But he's got to claim that, man. He's got to do better there, and Arsenal have nicked it from Gabriel. And they're celebrating. He's doing about 500 celebrations, and look, they deserve to get 3 points. I'm not going to be bitter about it. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Arsenal with a better team. And really, full-time whistle went, and it was sickening. A few people having to go at Nick Pope. But up until that goal, Nick Pope was my best player. He was having an absolute worldie of a performance. You cannot do that, man. You can't. Life of a goalkeeper, isn't it? You're the hero, but then you're the villain. You've got to do better. I'm sorry, but you've got to do better. And there's calls for Ramsdale to come in eventually. But Nick Pope has had a fantastic start the season. And up until that point, there might be even some claims that you should get back in the England squad. But if you got kicking like that, it's going to go against you. Modern day football, unfortunately, every manager likes the ball being played out. And look, I'm not having a big go at him because realistically, he saved us. He kept us in the game for such a long period of time. So it's like, it's one of them, innit? Where are you with it? But he has had a good start of the season. But that goal, could have got a point. But in all honesty, as I say, Newcastle didn't deserve a point. We were second best. We got the goal, which is great, but let's be honest, everyone. Will we at the races today? I want to talk first, before we hear from Eddie Howe, about rotation. And then also, after we hear from Eddie Howe, I want to talk about, should we be playing part of the bus at home? But the rotation, obviously, he's had to be doing it. He's already expressed. Murphy, obviously, is watching his load of the Achilles. Obviously, we've got Fabian Schär concussion. He wasn't available, and he might struggle to get in the side because I think Malik Chow had a good game today. I don't know if he's at fault for any of the 2 goals. Again, I haven't seen them back, or Botman or whatever, but I thought Fabian Schär will do well to get back on that side. I think Chow's come on leaps and bounds in the first few opening games, and this is the opportunity that you need. You need injuries sometimes to happen, and you stake your claim, and you keep your place if you play well. Obviously, Trippier hasn't started any of the last 2 or 3 games now. I thought he might have started. I think he will, of course, in midweek. Obviously, Lewis Hall, he's not being risked at all. Midfield, obviously, you've still got Willock to come in. You've still got Ramsey to return from injury. I've already mentioned Visser. Barnes will probably start midweek, I would have thought, if he's been rested. Gordon was lively, especially in that first half. I expect him to start. And Elanga with his pace, maybe midweek. So 2 out of those 3 will start. If I put my hat on it, I'll say Elanga and Gordon midweek. That's what I'll go with out wide. But we just didn't deserve it. There's a lot of rotation early on, and should we be doing that so early on? Should we? I get it for Bradford, because when he rotated so many, and obviously Miley, I forgot about Lewis Miley. And just by the way, stop picking on Lewis Miley, man. Just because we've got rid of Sean Longstaff, don't pick on your local lads, man. He's just a young kid. He's just a bairn. If it's not Paul Dummett, it's Sean Longstaff. It's not Sean Longstaff, it's now Louis Miley. Get off his case. Get off his case. Let the lad breathe. You got to give him at least a couple of years. Yeah. Such a young boy. So, where was I? Rotation. Is it too early on? But let's hear from Eddie Howe, and then, as I say, we'll talk about the next thing.
Collective effort, the commitment was there, the desire to win was there. I thought mentally, we were really good. Don't think it was our best performance, but still winning that game 1-0 would have been sort of the perfect boost for us, because we've done that many, many times. Today, fortunately, we couldn't hold on to that and end up with nothing. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a prime example of hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? And when you're playing, you have seconds, sometimes less, of course, to make split-second decisions that impact the game. And I think Nick's been very positive today in everything that he's done. A number of really, really good saves. I think he just distributed the ball in a similar way with a throw, which was really effective. And as you say, that is the life of a goalkeeper. But still, from the resulting corner, we should have defended it better. I've got no update to give you other than I know what you know. Seeing him go off in that manner was really distressing, I think, and he's been such a big player for us in so many different ways. You know, his versatility, his attitude, his quality, and if we're going to miss that for any length of time, that's going to be a huge blow.
So that was Eddie Howe, who was obviously in the presser just behind us. Look, let's talk about, should we be playing and parking the bus? Because I don't think so. And look, you're allowed to criticise a game-by-game basis. And I think Eddie Howe got it wrong. And I think going so early, parking the bus, against a side that, yeah, they might be competing with Liverpool towards the end of the season. Arsenal have got the best squad for many a year. If Arteta doesn't win anything, he has to go for me. He has to go. Arsenal need to win something this season, regardless of what it is, because Arteta's got all that money. You cannot deny. He has to get a trophy this season, or he needs to can. But should we be parking the bus? We finished 5th last season. We're a Champions League team. Should we be parking the bus at home? Away from home, I understand it. Even if we come out with a draw at the end there, I would have still brought this question up, because I don't believe we should be parking the bus after 65 minutes at home in the Premier League against any side, unless we're 2 or 3-0 up. But we weren't. Even when it was 1-1, we were still parking the bus. I know Eddie Howe doesn't want to be read, as he said in his presser. He doesn't want to be read by other managers, but come on. Why are we going 5 at the back so early, man? It's frustrating. We're at home. I want to see us attack Arsenal, because they can be get out. I don't think Calafiori is the greatest defender in the world. Go and attack him. Get a Langer. Start in the game. I wanted him to start, attack him. And hopefully there isn't too many, because I don't like 5 at the back. I really didn't. I went to see Newcastle United women. I don't like them playing that either. I don't like the men playing it. I just don't think... I think it's a negative tactic, and I understand if you're 2-3-0 up and then you can do it, that's fine. But if you're playing at home and you've got a fantastic record against the opposition, and you've got a fantastic record in general, and you're meant to be one of the front runners, the top 5 teams, top 5-6 teams in the Premier League, you've got to go and win your home games, man. Disappointed. I'm really, really disappointed. I cannot lie about that tactic. But look, we focus now on the Champions League. That comes up next fast for Newcastle over in Brussels. As I mentioned, there'll be a few changes there. Newcastle haven't got off to a fantastic start. Of course, we had Barcelona. I mean, it wasn't a Scunthorpe or a Darlington or a Chesterfield coming. It was Barcelona. No disrespect to those teams. I wasn't doing that. But fair enough, we've got Barcelona. Look, many teams are going to get battered by Barcelona. But Union away, should we be winning that game? We need to get something from that game at least, because that'll be 2 games down. And remember, you've got to come the top 24. It's harder not to qualify, because the bottom 8 will drop out. If you finish in that top 24, you'll at least have the playoffs, at least. And Newcastle need to pick something up from that game, and I think we should go and win that game. And now they've got a good result against PSV, and we're a Premier League side that finished 5th. Union would not finish anywhere in the top 10, probably in the lower half, might even get relegated if they win the Premier League. We should be winning that game. So hopefully there's a performance at midweek. Obviously we'll bring you all the videos in midweek when it comes round to it. Aye. And look, I'm very, very honest on this channel. Arsenal deserve the 3 points. I'll say it one more time, because I know there'll be some Arsenal fans watching this. You deserve that. You deserve the 3 points. Gutting that we lost at the way of the end, but in all honesty, Newcastle didn't deserve to get anything from that game. I'll be brutally honest. And I'm fair with my assessment. So if you can drop us a massive like, because it is difficult, honestly, when we lose like that, it's difficult to come on in videos and make them for you, but hope you've liked my analysis, whether you agree or not. Drop your comments down there below. It means the world to us. It really does. And it's my birthday as well. It was my birthday yesterday, so that'd be nice if you can drop us a like. That'll be wonderful. Right, we'll see you very soon here on Newcastle Fans TV from the top of the car park across the road above Chinatown. We'll see you very soon.